Ah, what is going on, guys? It is All Gas TV here, introducing you to episode number 1 of the All Gas podcast, a podcast where we will be talking NASCAR and the NFL, two of the main sports I like to follow here. Um, Bi-weekly, probably podcast because I usually have nothing good going on in my life. This is the introductory episode, so we'll have feedback as you know it's the introductory episode and whatnot. So how this is gonna go? I mean, this is probably gonna be like a Monday, Thursday type of thing. Maybe a Monday when I don't know how to do this everything. Maybe yeah, it'd be difficult how to do this because I want like Monday episodes so that I can do like race recaps, quick NFL recaps and whatnot, and then like another one maybe like Thursday to address a whole bunch of issues and whatnot and see how it goes. So I think Monday and Thursday could be the tentative schedule. But this first episode is being recorded on Wednesday night, so you'll be seeing this some point Thursday afternoon or hearing it Thursday afternoon. And I don't know how long this can go. Half an hour to an hour, depending on the situations we have to talk about. A whole lot of fun, a whole lot of information I have, yeah, let's get into it here. So we're going to go ahead and talk about NASCAR first. And there's interesting topics to start talking about NASCAR here, and I feel like it's too late in the week to do a recap of a ISM race that was okay at best. So that's my recap, is okay at best. So we move on to another topic here, and that's a topic that many people are talking about. Actually, one of two topics people are talking about. The one I feel like you've heard a lot, and that's the Daniel Suarez Michael McDowell incident that happened. I feel like that's something that doesn't need to be addressed, because those two got into a fight over respect and issues on the track. One thought he had respect, and the other one, is Michael McDowell. So that's the whole thing. The other thing is this thing with Kyle Busch and 200 wins, and people are wondering, is this going to put him in the greatest of all time conversation because it's 200 wins in NASCAR? And I'm going to quickly give my take because we can talk about this for hours. In number of situations, a number of scenarios we can talk about. And I mean, the guys, if you guys know what the NASCAR Weekly podcast is, it's a podcast that happens Wednesday nights on Eric Estep or Black Flag Matters or Danby Talks, or I believe it's the Iceberg channel, and they talk weekly NASCAR stuff. So I was watching that, and they get into this interesting conversation about how 200 wins is, for Kyle Busch right now, means nothing because of how he's done against the competition he's done compared to Richard Petty's wins and whatnot. I kind of want to throw on a little bit of an aspect here. I agree with anyone who says Kyle Busch's 200 wins just means he's won 200 times between the three major ranks. That's cool. I won't put him up there in the greatest all time. I won't put him in the top 3. I won't put him in the top 5. Fringe top 10. Greatest NASCAR driver of all time. But think about this. If you want to start comparing 200 Cup Series wins to 200 wins in NASCAR total, if we had the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series back in the late 60s, early 70s, when Richard Petty got all those wins, he would probably have 300, 400 more wins because he's a racer. He does racing for living. He would go race whatever he can. I feel like he would have been in every Xfinity Series race, every Truck Series race, trying to win, trying to prove he's the best. He would have done that. So comparing Kyle Busch's 200 wins in all three NASCAR series, 52 in Cup, 199. So he's got 52 in Cup, 90 something in Xfinity, and 50 something in Truck. However, you can get equal 100, 299. Just whatever. I can probably Google it right now, but I don't actually give a fuck about Kyle Busch, so talking about him hitting 200 career NASCAR wins and comparing it with the greatest driver of all time, 200 wins in the Cup Series, 7 Cup Series titles, is just terrible. It's not something you can just be like, yeah, we can talk about. We can say, yeah, 200 wins is cool. He's a guy. He was able to win 94 races in Truck, win X amount of races actually it's 90 something wins. I want to say it's like 92, 93 wins in Xfinity, 50 something in Truck, 52 in Cup. I mean, cool, we can talk about it. But putting this 200 wins in series against competition that, I mean, at some points it's been good, at some points it's been just, within the past, I would say 6 years, it's been because of these restrictions on Cup drivers going down into these other series, and the best way I'm going to say is leeching upon them. Cool. If you go back to like 03, 04, 05 when you had Cup drivers regularly racing full-time, the greatest season we can talk about is 2006 when Kevin Harvick won the title full-time in the Busch Series. Is that. But if he was racing then and like racing like he is now, then I mean, like, we had those restrictions now. Any Cup driver can go race X amount of races in the Xfinity Series, bringing in sponsorship there, doing this, doing that. Cool, we can probably put that side by side thing because he's actually racing against good competition. Instead, he's going down and racing against these drivers who might never see a chance of going into the Cup Series or had a chance at the Cup Series and have just blown it. To me, he will just have 200 career Cup Series wins. Not Cup Series. 200 career NASCAR wins. If he cracks 100 Cup Series wins, we'll start talking. So I feel like 100 Cup Series wins plus everything he did, like, we can start talking. He's been good. Maybe another title or two during that time, which I think today's playoffs make it difficult. So yeah, that's it for NASCAR I have, because I mean, again, we're going to try to do this Monday, Thursday, and get a recap and midweek talk and preview for a race. So I guess we can talk about a preview for Auto Club. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's talk about a preview for Auto Club, I guess, for NASCAR real quick. This isn't my prediction video. Prediction video will be coming out tomorrow evening. Recorded tomorrow evening about 5 o'clock, 5:30. It'll be up about 7 o'clock. So, time to preview it. And this is going to be an interesting race because we're going to a 2-mile track, a 2-mile D-shaped track in Auto Club. I mean, new aero package and everything, 550 horsepower and whatnot. Is this going to be like a Daytona type race where we're going to see drafting and strategy everywhere? Or are we going to see another race like Vegas where passing is a whole lot better, closer racing and whatnot? Or are we just going to see some of these drivers figure out this package and just absolutely dominate? I feel like this is a question going into this because we saw at Vegas, passing was great. It was a pretty good race all around in Vegas. Are we going to see that again? I think we're going to see a good race at Auto Club. I feel like it's going to be great racing all around. I feel like we're going to see passing left and right. I feel like we're going to see strategy with drafting and running that. I feel like we are going to get, 2-second gaps between later and whatnot. I mean, it's going to be happening because tire fall off is a thing. We're going to see pack racing because this isn't a pack racing type of package, but I feel like we'll see some good racing. Fans won't be disappointed, and whatnot. That's my opinion. I feel like we'll see some good racing. Maybe some interesting drivers up front because it is going to be utilizing this thing called drafting. Well, not because of the package trying to get speed, but I feel like it's going to be a good unquote race. So just gotta hope and see. But that's it for NASCAR because, I mean, besides Kyle Busch 200 wins and Auto Club, there wasn't much else to talk about this week for NASCAR. We'll talk about more NASCAR stuff on Monday. Next topic panned is this thing called the NFL, National Football League. And it is currently, at the time of recording this, 8:49 on March 13th of 2019. And that means the new league year has started. Free agency and stuff kicked into full gear, I want to say Sunday night. Actually, I would say Saturday when Antonio Brown got traded. A lot of interesting moves have happened here in the NFL. Very interesting. Where do we want to start? I mean, so much has happened. So many moves have been made. Players have been signed. Let's start talking about the two big things that have happened within the past 5 days. Let's start talking about the trade that happened Saturday night. The trade that happened Saturday night was, something we figured was going to happen. We thought it was going to happen Thursday night, Friday, when everyone got that notification late going, Antonio Brown's going to Buffalo. Well, that lasted about 5 hours. He was in Buffalo for about 5 hours. And, everyone woke up in the morning to this trade has been, canceled. Nothing's happening here. Antonio Brown's staying a Steeler till now. We're going, well, was this the only chance if they don't want to go? If he doesn't want to go to Buffalo, where the hell does he want to go? Because obviously no one's going out there and giving good trade offers to give him up. Obviously, if you already know what they got in compensation for him, I mean, you understand. I'm kind of interested in what the Bills offered for Antonio Brown. I honestly think it would have been interesting if we saw a Josh Allen, Antonio Brown type of combination on the field. To me, it'd be interesting. A guy who can throw the ball deep. I mean, he's got great throw power, able to throw the ball far. And one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL. I'd like to see that combination. But we're not going to because Antonio Brown used his magical word saying fake on an NFL Instagram post. And the trade got canceled. So we had to go all day Friday wondering why the trade was canceled. Antonio Brown doesn't want to go here. Any trade destination that's going to come about, he's not going to go. But I still had the notification from ESPN on Saturday night. I want to say it was like 7, 8 o'clock. Hard to tell with daylight savings time now because I'm just determining by the time it got dark. Because it was dark for a couple hours and plus it was all snowing and whatnot. I get an ESPN notification saying, hey, Antonio Brown was traded to the Raiders. Details coming soon. Adam Schefter or whoever reported. I'm just like, holy shit, he's going to Oakland? They better got one of those first round picks or next year's first or a great young player they don't have on roster sent to him. About half an hour, 45 minutes later, we start getting trade details, and we see a this year 3 and a this year 5 got sent to Pittsburgh for Antonio Brown. Yikes. Oakland won that trade every single day of the week. Like, holy shit. Yo, Green Bay, you could have probably called up Pittsburgh and been like, we'll give you a second round pick, and we'll throw in maybe a 5, or we'll throw in a 6 in the next year 7. Give us Antonio Brown. We'll take him off your hands. Aaron Rodgers needs another target to throw the ball to. If they did that, they wouldn't have been able to do what they did in the past couple days. But, you know, would have been cool. Have another target there. Well, why would they accept so much, so little for arguably one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL? Plus, this guy got paid then. They restructured his contract and made this guy got paid. He's getting, like, I don't know the exact details or anything. He's getting a decent amount of money. You're like, I don't know if he became top paid receiver in the NFL or anything. It's numbers. I didn't save any of that information because I'm dumb, but he's gonna get paid, and he's also 30. And what does Antonio Brown trade remind me of? It reminded me of a trade that happened back in 2007 that also involved the Oakland Raiders. They had a very, very upset receiver by the name of Randy Moss, and you know, he was performing well in Oakland. He was doing okay with the shit quarterbacks they had. All of a sudden, he started causing drama and whatnot, and that led to him being traded. He got traded for like a 7th round pick to New England. New England won that trade. Next 3 years, when they had Randy Moss, it was I would say, greatest time for Patriots fans because they had a true superstar receiver. Not saying. Actually, I'm saying they haven't had a true superstar receiver since then. Take a look at Julian Edelman. The only thing can say his postseason stats. Wes Welker, maybe. But since Randy Moss, that's all they had. It's reminding me of that trade that happened back in 2007 between the Oakland Raiders and the New England Patriots that sent Randy Moss to New England. Helped go him 16-0. Helped Brady throw 50 touchdowns. Helped them lose to the Giants in the Super Bowl. You know, very interesting. I think later on Monday I found out that New England threw him an offer. If Oakland didn't come in with that offer, I think he would be in New England right now, and we'll be talking about, holy shit, no one's going to be able to beat the Patriots for the next 3 years. Well, that's enough about Antonio Brown. I got more about the Steelers here in a little bit. We're starting into Monday and whatnot. We're finding out top players are getting franchise tagged, and we're finding out this, and we're finding out that. We're finding out players starting to go where. The first thing I think I found out was Landon Collins going to Washington. He's getting paid. Next thing I think I found out was Nick Foles is getting an $88 million deal from Jacksonville. That was like Monday and whatnot. Broncos getting Flacco a long time ago. Keenum going to Washington. We're finding some trades happening. Players getting signed. Let's go into Tuesday. Things start getting interesting here. Some more players start getting signed. Tyrann Mathieu. Actually, so we had to not say signed because they haven't officially signed the contract yet until like later today. They have agreed to terms. They have verbally committed to joining these teams. One player we're going to quickly talk about, Teddy Bridgewater, verbally agreed to a term with the Saints, but he's currently shopping what he has out on the market with Miami Dolphins. Currently, that's what's going on there. So, you know, they think they found their future quarterback after Drew Brees is gone. but it's not going to happen. Landon Collins gets their $84 million deal. I mean, what else? I mean, Tyrann Mathieu signs with the agrees to terms with the Chiefs. And then you see them release Eric Berry today. And then you see, trying to think what else, Adrian Amos. And then Zadarius Smith. And then Preston Smith go to Green Bay. Green Bay actually being active in the free agency market. Thank fucking God, about fucking time. Aaron Rodgers can only do so much, but they didn't get any key offensive pieces. There's still some players out there, but we're not. And we kind of get a lull with top players signing and whatnot. I mean, we hear news coming around the NFL. This player goes here, this player goes here. I bet you if I click on this tab, it says top 101 free agents in free agency. Let's just scroll down the list here. Trey Flowers goes to Detroit. We already talked about Nick Foles, Landon Collins. Anthony Barr originally agreed to terms with the Jets, but then got a contract from Minnesota. Mosley's going to the Jets. What else? Sheldon Richardson going to the Browns. We already talked about Preston Smith. LaMarcus Joyner, I think he's going to Oakland. Bradley Roby's going to Houston. I mean, there's K.Y. Alexander's going to San Fran. Mitch Morse, I want to say, signs with Buffalo or something. I don't know where he signed. Paradis with the Panthers. I mean, players are just starting to sign everywhere. One big name we haven't talked about yet, Le'Veon Bell. And many people are just speculating where he's gonna go. He might go to Cleveland. He might go to Oakland. Oakland might go and sign him. He might go here. He might go there. Here's the teams listed available interested in him. And we get a notification from ESPN about 11:30 last night. Breaking news: Le'Veon Bell has agreed to terms with the New York Jets. Great, interesting. We get his contract terms: 4 years, $52 million. I go to sleep because I have to be up early for work, and then the next day I'm seeing, actually early morning, I'm seeing, hey, he declined 5 years, $70 million from the Steelers. What the fuck? He's gonna accept a year less, obviously, but he's gonna figure the math, $14 million a year, 4 years, 64. He's taking about $12 million less to go to fucking New York Jets. Is there something wrong behind the scenes in Pittsburgh? Is Big Ben just, toxic? Is the coaching staff behind Mike Tomlin and the general management, not just a terrible organization, that Antonio Brown is voicing his opinion, wants to be traded? He gets traded. And you get to see, hey, Le'Veon Bell's going to accept a 4-year, $50-something million contract. I bet you I click on his name right now and it'll tell me how much his contract was. Actually, additions by team. We'll read that. We'll scroll down to the New York Jets. Here we go. Le'Veon Bell, 4 years, $52.5 million. He's willing to accept that little amount of money? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. There's obviously something going wrong in Pittsburgh that you're seeing Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown both leaving. Maybe they're expecting, by the way, here's Antonio Brown's contract deal. 3 years and $50.125 million with $30.125 guaranteed and a maximum value of $54.125 million. There's his contract detail. There's obviously something going on behind the scenes in Pittsburgh. Maybe they're getting out before Big Ben retires because they know the moment Big Ben Roethlisberger retires, it's just going to go downhill. Because they don't have their future quarterback there. I don't think Mason Rudolph or Landry Jones or... Oh, what the fuck is his name from Tennessee? They took him in the 4th round. Dotson? No. Doesn't obviously fucking matter. It's not the future there. They're obviously thinking it's not the future. Is Juju a number 1 receiver? There's obviously something going wrong here, and people are just ignoring that fact. Something's going wrong in Pittsburgh. People are just overlooking the fact that Antonio Brown was just unhappy and Le'Veon Bell wanted to get paid. Honestly, Le'Veon Bell taking a contract that is, if I do the math again, 4 years at $14 million is 60. Hang on, $56 million. I guess I was off by my first calculations. Taking a contract that's $3.5 million less per year. This contract he got from the Giants is a 4-year, $52.5 million. So, if you think about that, that's 13 and change a year. Taking that 900 and something thousand per year less, I mean, come on. Obviously, there's something going on. Why are we just putting this on the back burner? There's something going wrong in Pittsburgh. That's my thinking. And the last big deal that kind of happened, that besides Le'Veon Bell, because that happened, the last big thing that kind of happened is this trade that happened between the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants. That trade happened to be Olivier Vernon going to the Browns for Kevin Zeitler. That happened. I mean, the Browns get a good defensive end, strengthen up that defensive line. Take a look at it. Myles Garrett, Sheldon Richardson, now Olivier Vernon. Whew. That D-line's great. But that wasn't the only trade that the Browns made with the Giants. They made another one. Sending Jabril Peppers, the 17th overall pick, the 95th overall pick, which is in the 3rd round, to the Giants for Odell Beckham Jr. Freddie Kitchens and whatever the fuck his name, Dorsey, are doing something right. You're getting, again, a top 5 receiver in Odell. Plus a great defensive end. He was in New York. Iffy situation there in New York. I want to talk about New York. In exchange for, you're giving up the 17th overall pick. You're giving up a pretty good offensive lineman. A busted Jabril Peppers, and a possible never going to see an actual down player. A possibility of never actually seeing a down in real-time situations that count player in the NFL. For 2 good players. The Browns are doing something right. Plus, they add Sheldon Richardson. Great. I think they made more trades. What's more signings and whatnot? Let's go up to the Cleveland Browns here. Oh, no. Sheldon Richardson, Odell, and Olivier Vernon are the only thing they've done. This Browns team might be a team to deal with for the years to come. You got Baker Mayfield at quarterback, 23 years old, runner-up in the Rookie of the Year contest. My number 1 quarterback coming out of the draft last year. People were cautious of him because he's a cocky motherfucker, which is great. The Browns need to be cocky when they go 7-8-1, first year after going on in 16. Great. He's 23. You got Nick Chubb, who is 22, I want to say 22, 21, 22, 3 years old. You also got Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is on a 1-year contract with Cleveland, by the way. Depending on, suspension. He's young as well. I want to say 25, 26 years old. Okay, those three are great. Then you start taking a look at the receiving core. They have 2 receivers that I do believe came out in the same draft. In Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. 2 receivers that played together at Louisiana State University. Plus you got Antonio Callaway and whatnot there as well. 2 receivers, 25, 26 years old. I know Odell's 26. Great. A great speed threat at tight end in David Njoku, 22 years old. An offensive line that does need a couple of pieces, but it's a serviceable offensive line. And I mean without Kevin Zeitler, it might be a little bit questionable, but you still got Corbett there. I mean, it's an okay offensive line to keep Baker Mayfield up so they can throw the ball down the field. Defensively, Myles Garrett, Sheldon Richardson. I do want to say Larry Ogunjobi. Let me type his name here to Google. Yep, Larry Ogunjobi. He put up 5.5 sacks last year, by the way. Damn. And Olivier Vernon. You have Emmanuel Ogbah coming off the bench. Linebacking core of Christian Kirksey. I don't know what type of scenario he is. Plus Joe Sherbert, plus whoever you can get in the second round. I mean, there could be a good linebacking prospect there. A secondary of Denzel Ward and Braden Body Calhoun, and throw in another corner there. Demarius Randall and Derek Kindred at safety. I mean, this Browns team on paper right now, 11-5 team, I think. 11-5, 12-4 team. They have to perform up to that. Winner of the AFC North, probably for the first time since they came back into the NFL. They're going to be a team to be talking about. God damn. If it would just be a simple phone call. Again, like, I'm a Packers fan. If it was just a simple phone call to New York, it'd be like, hey, we gave you, I don't know, pick 30. One of our thirds, because I think we got a couple of thirds. And maybe a next year 4 plus, I don't know, maybe like Josh Jackson or something. Will you give us an Odell? And they said yes. We'd be talking about the Packers with the moves they've made being a top team to think about in the NFC. Jeez. So that's all the talk I got for NFL free agency. I mean, players are getting signed. Actually signing contracts. I'm waiting to see where Bridgewater goes, because if Bridgewater goes to Miami or stays in New Orleans, some teams might be trading up in the draft for a quarterback then, because there could be quarterbacks just sitting there. So, a couple more things to talk about here with the NFL. Today was Oklahoma's Pro Day. And the first time I get to see Kyler Murray do the drills of the draft. I don't know if he ran the 40. I'm gonna Google that. What do you mean Google that? 40-yard dash. That's the third thing that comes in when one type of curly. Oh, he didn't get remeasured or run a 40. I mean, I understand why you don't want to run the 40. It's like Lamar Jackson not running the 40. You don't want people to think you moved to running back or something, or receiver, because of your speed. But he apparently threw the ball well, which is a good thing to see for a 5'10" quarterback. You need to be able to, make the throws like hooray quarterbacks. But with this episode of the All Gas Podcast, let's talk about my top 5 quarterbacks, or my top quarterback rankings. Because there might... Actually, yep, they'll be top 5. I forgot about the guy. Let's go over him. Some people might think their top quarterback is interesting here. My top quarterback is Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State. I mean, watching his scouting combine, of course we're going to have to wait until his pro day to see what he does. He looks like a pocket passing quarterback, and he just needs a little bit of time to develop. I would hate to go to New York without Odell now. Hopefully some team trades up to 4-6 and takes him. I would hate to have him go there. Now that Jacksonville doesn't need a quarterback, it would be nice to see someone trade up so he doesn't go there. 2 would be Kyler Murray. I mean, watching some tape and whatnot, he was a pretty good quarterback. Still has some question of, about his size and whatnot, if he can take a hit and whatnot with some of these players. Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, and Will Grier end out my top 5. I feel like all 5 could potentially, if it was a quarterback needy situation, go in the top 5. Not top 5, the first round. But I have a feeling that we're going to see maybe 2 quarterbacks taken, and that's Haskins and Murray. These are sitting at right now, before any other pro days went out, because we saw Kyler Murray today. He did a pretty good job. When report I read, he threw 60, complete 61, 67. A couple of them were dropped. Looked pretty good. Was able to throw the ball deep. He was a good quarterback. Obviously, I want to sit and develop him. And here's what I'm going to start saying. Arizona Cardinals do not take him number 1 overall. You'd be stupid. You traded up a year ago to get Josh Rosen, and he just didn't perform a year ago. I mean, look what you gave around him. An aging Larry Fitzgerald, an offensive line that was It was a shitty situation for you right there, folks. How dare you throw him into that situation? Of course he's not going to perform up to expectations. Again, like what he gave around him. Shit. I feel like he would give him another year. Like Cliff Kingsbury. Try to work some magic. And if he doesn't perform up to expectations, then you start thinking about taking a quarterback. And a quarterback draft that could be very interesting in 2020. Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Jake Fromm, just to name some names. Or you can wait till 2021 and get Trevor Lawrence, or that's all I got for 2021. Or Justin Fields, or you don't waste this number 1 pick on Kyler Murray. Please, don't. But that's all I got. First episode of the All Gas Podcast in the books. Anyone watching this, I mean, chance of people actually watching this, very slim. If you do find this interesting, do leave a like. Give me some questions down in the comments section. I will attempt to listen to them and whatnot. Again, this should be going live tomorrow on Thursday, March 14th. And that'll be it for me, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.